But hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good?
Good.
I don't know.
Kind of looks like I just put my clothes on.
Kind of looks like you just finished, washing yarn and everything.
And
And
like, oh, quick, put something dry on so that
Right.
you can talk to people.
look, we coordinated our colors
Yeah.
too. Anyway, welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, and this is our Friday Live, where we go live every Friday at noon, thereabouts. 12:02 isn't too bad.
No.
Not too shabby. I am going to sign on so that I can follow along with comments. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, everybody. Okay.
Hi, everybody. We were washing up yarn this morning, and we got it done just in time to be able to come on time. So that's always good. Happy Friday, Joyce. It's very nice to have Friday. We've had a busy week dyeing yarn and washing yarn. So, hello, Cecilia. Hello, Gloria. Darla.
Okay. So, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about my sweater. I have issues with my sweater. And then we had several questions based on our Monday podcast, how we cross stitch, because we were talking about how when we first started cross stitching, we did the punching.
Okay, so shall we do that now?
Sure.
Okay.
So we do no longer use Q-snaps or hoops or anything like that. We do what they call stitching in hand.
So we just hold the fabric and stitch with it. I'm going to do a couple of stitches on this piece of fabric because I have a dark thread that should show up well. All right, so when we were talking about doing the punch, the up and down, what is
Stabbing.
It? Stabbing, it's called stabbing. So to do that, you go up through one of the holes.
I'm wondering if we should turn the camera.
And then go down through the next hole. And then come...
Do you want to turn it so
Sure.
that it's facing down?
I don't know. It's going to be such a hassle to try and do
you
it.
can't. Yeah, you're all set.
Okay. All right. We're going to change the camera. Hold 1 second.
Hopefully we don't make you all sick. See my sweater? And there, now I think you can,
Well, you know what? We'll watch on
there.
my
Yeah.
thing and see. Okay.
So this is my sweater.
In doing this, I have unthreaded my needle, and now I have to rethread it.
I'm pulling my sweater out of camera.
Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? All right, so I have my fabric like this. Like this. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to get this, I promise. All right. I have my fabric like this. There you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go up through one hole. This is stabbing. Down through the next hole.
And somebody said, do you mean square for hole? And yes, we're doing...
The holes on the four sides of the square.
Right.
So then up through the next one. And down through the fourth one. And you should have something that resembles an X when you're finished. Okay? That is doing it the stabbing way. And very often people do that using a Q-snap or a embroidery hoop or something like that.
Because it pulls the fabric taut.
What we do is called stitching in hand, where we hold the fabric in our hand. You get your needle up with the first side of the square, the first part of the square, and then you go down through the hole and back up through the next hole that you're doing, and everything is done on top of the fabric rather than your hand going from the top of the fabric to the bottom of the fabric and that kind of thing. So then I go down through the fourth hole and I go over and start my next square, but it's all one motion, all on top of the fabric. So then I do it this way, going down through that bottom hole, through the other one. It depends on how you stitch. You know, do you start at the top left and go down to the bottom right, and then how you do it? This is all preference, but rather than my hand going from the top to the bottom and that kind of thing, my hand stays on top of the fabric the entire time, and I can do this relatively quickly.
So Aaron says our way is much easier. Carol says we're magicians, but yes, we are.
In so many ways, Carol.
Grandma Stitches says, but it's all finally caught you when you're on live. Oh, okay. She's finally caught us when we're on live. Watch you for a long time. Don't comment very often. I really enjoy your YouTube videos. Thank you very much.
That is stitching in hand. It's your needle stays on the top of the fabric for the most part, and you're going across like you're sewing. And when you are finished with that color, then you bring it down for the final part of the stitch, and then you either sew it in or tie it off or do whatever you do on the back.
Okay, so somebody says, can we do that using a hoop as well? I know you can, but you need the fabric to be loose, which is why we do it in hand, because if it's too tight, you can't do the easy motion. I know Sue from Legacy Fiber Arts uses a hoop and does it in hand, so she keeps her fabric very loose. I just find it so easy, since everything we do is small, to do it just holding it in hand.
Right.
The thing is it is easier, it is faster.
I think some people don't think that it is as precise and neat.
The difference is the stabbing gives you a very precise X.
Right.
Whereas this you can be a little looser.
And as you all know, we are not precise in any part of our lives. And so for us, having slightly offset X's like this one here, now granted, I'm not wearing my proper glasses, but this one has an extra long little piece going off because, you know, I was doing it fast and everything. But
the other thing is when you have a confetti stitch in and amongst a whole bunch of completed stitches, then stabbing works best, because trying to...
Okay, so here is a confetti stitch. It's one single stitch in and amongst all the other stitches. So, this one is just out there because there are little sparks of magic around. So this would be considered a confetti stitch right here.
But these blue ones, can you see? These blue ones, the light blue in and amongst the blue. For me, if I had done the dark blue first, since I have all these stitches that I now have to stitch that are surrounded by completed stitches, then I have to stab it because I find it harder to get the motion of the needle.
Okay, so what the problem is every time you make an X, you're putting 2 strands of thread down one of these tiny little holes that... Am I in camera? There we go. These tiny little holes that are at the corners of the square. So you're putting 2 strands of thread down there. But when you now do the box next to it, you're putting 2 more strands of thread down there. And when you do the box on top of it, you're putting 2 more thread. So every time you're doing that, you're putting 2 strands of thread in that tiny little hole. So when you've got kind of a full coverage like this bottle here, where all the whole thing is stitched here, those holes are getting very, very full, so that when you're trying to get these little white X's in there, it's kind of hard to do the stitching in hand because those holes are very full when you're trying to get your needle to go through them simply. So for that, that's when the stabbing is good.
So Joyce has said, wow, that never occurred to her, and no hoop. That's the thing for me. Can that be done using a hoop as well? Okay. Carol says, so much easier than to do a hoop. She always felt like she couldn't get the hoop tight enough and it kept slipping. I feel you, Carol, because I found it very annoying because I always felt that it needed to be tight as a drum.
Right.
Joyce says again, and you don't stab your fingers holding the fabric? That would be her problem.
Every now and then I do, but these needles, my cross stitch needles, are not as sharp as, say, my EPP needles, where I have gotten them so they went underneath my thumbnail. That is painful. For the most part with this, no, I do not stab my finger.
Carol says that's why she loves us so much. Precision is overrated.
Yes, very much so.
Marcia says, thank you for the information. Your way seems to be so much easier. Someone says, but the toads things always seem precise to her at least. Well, thank you.
Thank you very, very much. But trust me, we are not precise in any shape or form. Okay, shall we bring the camera back up again? Yeah. I will let you do that.
Okay, close your eyes, everybody. We're about to move. Here we go.
I am just quickly taking out these stitches because they're on an existing project and I don't
I'm too tall. I have to stand back because my head gets cut off.
Okay. The problem of being tall.
Yes.
Something that I will never know. Okay. I will finish that later. Okay.
Okay.
Don't lose the needle. That's the big thing.
Here we go. So next up, I am knitting the All Things Autumn sweater by Annie Lupton. And my problem is the section that I have just started should be approximately here on me. That's from the bottom up. That's about where I should be. Yeah.
If she does that, it's kind of like a bandeau. Step back.
Bye.
Okay, a little bit further.
Okay, so.
All right,
This is kind of where it's supposed to, it's supposed to be right above my bust level. So now this is my waist. This is my actual natural waist. So now I'm going to get some growth with blocking because it's lace and it is DK Superwash yarn. I'm not going to get 6 or 7 inches. So
the question is,
since I'm knitting it flat and there's really no shaping, I can just add sections, so it's just a matter of which sections I want to add. And the coloring, it's just, I find it frustrating. And I don't know, am I longer waisted than most knitwear designers?
I don't know.
Because I always find this a problem.
Right.
And it's for my bust size, so it's not because my chest is taking up.
I think part of it is because even though the knitwear designers are designing for larger sizes, I think sometimes they're not actually taking into consideration larger sizes. So they're just, and I do not know if this is true for everybody or not. I don't think it's true for everybody, but I do think it's true for some where they just say, okay, so I need to add so many stitches to get to this thing. But they're not taking into consideration the body size, the actual body size, you know? So,
and then, you know, I guess if you have, you know, the size chest that I do, that you also have other areas that are taking up space.
Yeah, you've got, you know, your stomach is not flat and your hips are larger and that kind of thing, you know, it's all a little bit rounded.
But so, I mean, this is all, because, I mean, size-wise, this is going to fit all the rounded bits.
Right.
It's just the length.
The length, yes. And a lot of people are leaving comments and saying that they're having the same issue where they always have to add length. So,
and in the picture that Annie Lupton is wearing the sweater, it is well below her waist. It is a long sweater.
Right.
So that it's, is she that short? I don't know. So
I am short-waisted. So if I put it right over my bust line, it
would be okay because you're going to get the growth on you.
Yeah, to me, it's at my natural waist.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if we can, let me grab my iPad and I'll bring up the picture.
Okay.
Show where it is on her.
So now we need to do, Helen, Erin wants to know how tall you are. She's 5'8". That's right. Right?
5'8", yeah.
Helen is 5'8". I am 5'4". So I'm quite a bit shorter. And most of it is between my shoulders and my waist because I'm very, very short-waisted. But, all right, so here, Helen's pulling up the picture.
Okay, so here's the picture. This is the section that I am in right now.
Which one?
This top orange right here. So
That's what you've just started, the top orange?
Yeah, so this eyelet is the white eyelet here.
Okay. The green is the white eyelet or the
No, the green.
magic?
The green is the start of this lace section, the orange lace.
Okay. All right. All right. So
see, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I only do like another couple of inches, and then I have my neck.
right.
And I'm okay with a scoop neck. That's fine. But and see where it hits her.
That is definitely her hips.
Right.
This section here, this piece here, looks so much shorter than that.
Right.
Like really so much shorter. All right. So the question is, what do we do to this to make it grow? And how much more do you want to add in? I think that's the first thing we need to figure out.
And what I'm really hoping is I'm not going to throw off the shape of the sweater by adding so much length. That's my biggest concern. I haven't done anything shaping wise. This thing is you're knitting it flat and you just knit it straight up. There's no short rows or adding stitches for your bust line or your sleeve.
All right, so right now you are at
I don't have to
10
take it back
inches.
to lengthen it, Erin.
No, I think what we're going to do is we're
I'm
going to add a
I'm going
section.
to add on top. So
All right, so 10 inches, and where is it supposed to be? Right across.
see, like even
Yeah.
like above my bust, because I mean, this section and then I do the neck.
Okay.
I do the section an eyelet, which is that's the eyelet.
Right.
So the eyelet is substantial.
Okay, so here we go. Going from here to where?
So like here,
Okay, in front. Bring it in front.
like here.
Yeah, you need to add 6 inches.
Okay.
6 inches. So what do you do to
But
add
that's
6
I mean, I have to
inches?
take into account the fact that this is also going to be
It's going to grow somewhat, but I don't
Because, I
think it's
mean,
going to
here.
grow that much. Because you're not going to have it stretched out. I mean, it's not going to grow that much.
well, obviously it's not going to grow 6 inches, but
And yeah, I would, all right, even if you stretch it. Okay, stretching it, you're at 14.
what do I need?
16.
So I'm thinking I do another section. I do another lace section.
All right. So I think what you do is, what color would you do it in?
I think I would do it in the purple because it seems to be that you do
Green and then purple?
right.
Okay, so Gloria says that she's very long-waisted with short legs. Always has trouble finding tops that are long enough to reach her waist or hips. Yeah, no, it's difficult. And when you're knitting, we have started that we are measuring each piece of ourselves and then knitting. Like I'm knitting a sweater where I'm doing one size for my waist, another size for my bust, another size for my shoulders, and I'm just adding and decreasing stitches as you go along. All right, so if you did,
So here's the schematics.
okay,
But she doesn't give. She gives from shoulder. Total length should be 19 inches. From here to here.
okay,
Okay, wait.
you-
That's a lie. That's for the smallest. No, but she's saying. See, that's the problem. For this pattern, the total length is the same for every single.
Okay. And yours should be 24.
Right.
So that's an extra 5 inches that you need to put in. So I think what I would do is I would take this green and make it this lace section.
Well, here, I've already started the lace section. So what I'm going to do.
That's this, right?
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
It's a different pattern.
Okay.
So I've started there are 3 charts. So this is chart 1, chart 2, and I've started chart 3. And what I'm thinking is what I would do is I'd do this, do an eyelet row in the magic, this color here, because in the pattern you do a eyelet above and below in the same color.
Right.
So then I do the eyelet in the everything's magic or whatever the colors, in the speckle, and then do another section in the purple. And I think I would add this one again.
But
with eyelets on either side.
the problem is that the way her sweater is going is that, okay, maybe I'm just seeing this wrong. Is this coming over here all part of the top? Where that white row going
Yes.
around, that's all part of the top?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say,
you're
you've got
trying
to
to
match
match it? Yeah,
your
no.
your sweater, your pattern. Okay.
So you can see where she's here. Because you knit the front and the back exactly the same. And then you seam it on the shoulders.
Okay.
And this is part of the seaming.
Okay.
This is all part of it. And again, I'm not sure I'm going to get that kind of length, but I'm going to worry about that. Once I put it together, I'll try it on and see where. Obviously, I'm going to need much longer sleeves.
Okay. All right. So then if you did that in the green, did your magic going across, because that's the eyelet, then do this down here in the purple and did that as your top, that would be pretty.
Right. And then my ribbing's not going to match my neckline. Could care less.
Right.
If I have the purple as the ribbing, then I'll do the green as the neck ribbing.
Right.
I mean, that I don't care about.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
So
Okay.
it's frustrating.
Yes, it is. However, I think that's a good solution. I really do. Okay. Just make meticulous notes.
Yeah.
So that you know that you're doing the exact same thing to the other side.
Oh, yeah. I have my,
What's your order?
started my creative journal, so.
Okay.
So.
Okay, Joyce says that she would add more to the bottom rather than the top. Okay. For Lisa and Heather and anybody else, Dudley is making an appearance. He would like to put in his 2 cents.
Oh, my God.
Dudley is here to tell us that it is almost 12:30 and we should be feeding him lunch, which is absolute bollocks because you do not need to be fed lunch just yet. However, he very rarely makes an appearance. Okay. All right.
So the problem with adding, this is laziness speaking, adding to the bottom is that means I have to take out the ribbing.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
No, well, you've got the top open. So
And I
just add to the top.
honestly don't think it makes any difference just based on the way the sweater is put together. If this were a normal sweater that I was doing in the round, that I was knitting from the bottom up, I would be in so much trouble right now because probably I would have already tried to separate for the sleeves based on the pattern.
Right.
So, and I knew that it was going to be too short. I just didn't realize it was going to be
That short.
so short.
Yeah, that is very, very
Yeah.
short. Okay.
And
so,
I didn't even really look at the schematics. That it makes no sense that for
right.
the very, an extra small size all the way up to, 5X or whatever, everybody's 19 inches long. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. All right, so I think you do what you said. I'm sorry, are we keeping you awake? W is joining in my face. Finish the lace that you started. do another eyelet, then do this lace in purple, do the eyelet on top, and then go, we'll see where it is and see if you need to add more.
Oh, the other thing is it's just based on, if I'm keeping the pattern, it's lace, or, it's eyelet, lace, eyelet, then the textured section. So technically I would also add a textured section,
We'll see.
which means that I'm going to have 2 textured sections in purple and another textured section in a different color.
Well,
Which really do I care?
or also,
Again, precision
I would
is
see
overrated.
where it is when you get to the texture section, and
Yeah.
you might not want to add that.
Yeah, because do I want textured right here?
Right. So let's see. I say finish the lace section, add the second lace, and we'll revisit and see where it is. It's so beautiful. The colors are gorgeous.
The colors are beautiful. I think it's going to be a really, really comfortable, slouchy sweater. So I really want the finished product, because if I didn't care, it would just be done.
Right. Yet another bag full of a project that isn't. My mother looks at our bags that she sees them every night, and she says, "Are those full of projects?" I said, "They're waiting. They're just waiting for us to pick them up again. Everything's ready to go. It's just waiting." So, okay.
Do you want to check comments?
All right. Let's see. Joyce says you could cut it and add back the ribbing later.
I could.
Amanda says, "Poor Dud, he's wasting away." You know this cat, Amanda.
And he's so dull.
Yes. All right. A couple people said, could you take it back and continue the brown block area and make that bigger?
This one?
Yeah.
This section here? I could. It's a very intricate lace pattern, and in particular this lace, I hated knitting this pattern.
Okay.
I hated knitting this chart. I didn't mind this one so much. This one was kind of a fiddly chart.
All
so
right. Besides, I like the way that they are the same size. I think putting a larger one would, I think go with it the way it is. All right. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. So, look at that.
And the good news is if I run out of yarn, I know where to get more.
This is true. This is very true.
And dye lots don't matter because everything's separated from itself. So.
Right. All right. We have a solution.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing is we talked about, was it on Monday we were talking about Pango books? Where we started getting books from Pango?
I don't know. At some point we were talking about it.
We were talking about how we're selling some of our books that we've finished on Pango books, and then I get to use the money that I make there to buy more books. And 2 of them came in. So let's see what I got, because I have no idea. I forget.
Would you like a pair of scissors?
Yolanda says, sew the sides together and make a big, beautiful fall cowl. That would be...
I could do that too.
Yeah.
But I want this sweater.
No, the sweater is going to be really comfortable.
It's not very whiny. I don't want to do this, but I want this.
I got The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Parry. H.G. Parry. It's in off the coast of Ireland sits a legendary island hidden by magic, a place of ruins and ancient trees, sea salt air, and fairy lore. Okay.
That sounds very much like The River Enchanted.
I think that will be very good, and I will enjoy that very much, hopefully, because I love the setting. All right, and then my other one is... Oh, They Never Learn. This one I heard about on a podcast or Book Talk. I think it was Book Talk. But it's about an English professor that every year she searches for the worst man at Gorman University and plots his well-deserved demise. Thanks to her meticulous planning, she's avoided drawing attention to herself. Okay. Again, I think I could get behind this.
Carol, yes, it is The Magician's '(S) Daughter by H.G. Parry.
Okay. So there we go.
It's got a very pretty cover, too.
They do. This one, I don't think this one's even been read. It doesn't feel like the spine has been cracked at all.
Yeah,
right.
Magician's Daughter, They Never Learn.
Only so she doesn't forget.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to make a note of that. Marcia, The Oracle Glass.
She says we should get our hands on that. So Pengo, they're all used. But they, like all used book sites, they tell you what shape it's in. And the way we read most books, it's we read it gently. Most of them we're not going to read again.
Right.
So we throw them up on Pengo, and that lets us, recycle. It's kind of like a library.
Right.
It's a revolving door of books.
I know, but really, it's because we love having our books around, and I'm very, very loath to let go of my books. However, if I'm not going to read it again, I don't need to hold on to it. And if, as Helen says, we move some out, I get to bring more in.
Right.
Of course, there are some
We have a shelf of the ones that don't get touched.
that never will go anywhere, that will always stay. But the others,
Lessons in Chemistry is there.
yes.
Which is there.
The Blackbird Cafe, Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe.
Series of Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance.
Yeah, we've got some good ones there.
Hugo was almost named Waylon.
This is an amazing book.
I read these two books back to back. So Waylon was the great one from here, and Hugo was the wonderful character from here.
And if you have not read either of these, you really should,
Right.
because they are awesome.
And his name that they gave him at the shelter was Jojo. So we figured Hugo was close enough to Jojo so that it wasn't too much of a shock for him.
And he's
He's a Hugo.
he really is. He's moved into
Yeah.
grown into it very well. Okay, all right. We have to get going because, as Dudley is reminding us, he's supposed to be being fed. And we have minis.
Screw Dudley. The humans need to be fed.
Oh, Claire, I am so excited to see that. She says that Lessons in Chemistry is coming to Apple TV. And Brie Larson is doing it. So I'm really excited to see it.
I really, really hope they don't do too much to it.
Right.
And how they're going to do 6:30 is a very big concern of mine.
Yes, very much so.
Because 6:30 can make or break.
Yeah,
production.
Hugo came before because he might have been named 6:30. All right. Anyway, we have to get going because we have a table full of minis that need to be twisted and put into packages for the countdown to Halloween, because they are done, they are dry, they're almost ready to go out.
Right? The labels came for the bags today, so
Yep.
we are ready to go.
We're getting ready to start packing.
No more excuses.
Nope. All right. So we hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I think it's going to be.
We're supposed to get a tropical storm, so.
Okay.
Beach Girl says to clean Dudley's chin after he's done eating.
Okay, you
Is everybody
guys.
just saying goodbye?
Yes,
Is that
have a
what I
great
said? Okay.
weekend. We will see you on Tuesday. We are trying to post on Tuesdays and Fridays. So Tuesday, we will be putting up a video with our progress from this weekend. I am just going to say I have added the second color to my shawl. You guys are going to have to wait till Tuesday to see it, but it's beautiful.
I'm going to say that my Queen of Diamonds September blocks are done.
Yep, I have one done and the second one in the progress, so I am hoping to have both of them done. So we'll have lots and lots of things to show you. So we will
Also,
see you
there's
then.
scratching at the door.
Yes.
So Hugo, Waylon, Jojo would like to come inside now.
Hugo, Waylon, Jojo, 6:30.
Carol, you too, because the East Coast is supposed to get hit with a tropical storm this weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody stay dry, stay safe.
We will see you on Tuesday.
Go
Bye.
forth and create.
Oh, there you go. Don't forget that. Bye.
Bye.